Welcome everyone to Mystics Outlook. We got Cardo Dudley Jr. here. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. And look, Atlanta, they lost by double digits in DC a couple days ago. They were home tonight, and they were able to take care of Washington and avenge that loss just a bit. They held on late to win 94-89. One of the big things in this game was Washington lost Elena Deladon to what looks like an ankle injury. Obviously, we'll hear more in the coming days. But Cardell, your thoughts on this one?
Just feel like Atlanta came in with a chip on their shoulder. Obviously, looking for a get back for how they got blown out in DC on Wednesday. They were more physical and they took it to the Mystics, man. One thing we know always with the Dream this season is that they're going to attack you. They have a lot of athletes, a lot of versatile, long wings and guards that are tough, and they can break you down off the bounce. It's a load to defend them. Um, and they get to the free throw line a lot and they can finish inside. And once that start happening, they can hit shots from the outside, and they have bigs that can clean up and finish inside whenever they miss. And that's pretty much the combination of what you saw tonight. Um, it was a totally different game from than what we saw from Wednesday. One, the Mystics, they had the Mystics on their heels. They got them in foul trouble, especially Sykes and Atkins. They were played by foul trouble throughout the game, and which was the opposite of Wednesday because Ryan Howard was in foul trouble, and that limited her and her production. This tonight, it was the Mystics, and that hurt them bad. It was tough for them to get a rhythm. Even though Sykes finished for 50%, she had it going for a minute there, but the foul trouble just took away her rhythm. Atkins, it seemed like when she tried to get going, a couple fouls picked up, and she couldn't be as aggressive, man. So, um, you know, Deladon, Deladon tried to pick up the slack until she rolled her ankle one night, uh, and you know, it, the, it just got ugly after that, especially in that third quarter where they held the Mystics to 13 points. That's where I believe the game kind of officially turned for the Dream, and the Mystics were fighting an uphill battle. And then we look at the bench production: 7, 9, 11 points from the bench on the Mystics bench as a whole. Asia Durr came in and off the bench and had 15 by herself. That's a big blow for for the Mystics, especially seeing as how you turning the ball over, you getting them second chances, um, and then your guards are played by foul trouble, where their offensive rhythm is bothered by that. If not for Delanor going off for 30, this could easily been a double-digit loss, but it was a winnable game. The Mystics, I feel like down the stretch, some shot selection hurt them, some turnovers hurt them, and some, defensive lapses. It hurt them. All the three main things that coaches look for you to execute to pull out a close game, they failed to execute in those areas, and that's why they took a loss, man. It looked like I said, it's unfortunate. One thing I said, in the preview, you got to keep the Dream off the free throw line, especially now that they're back home. If you keep them off the free throw line, you give yourself a better chance because I knew they would be more physical and come out with much more fight. And Mystics didn't do that. Shoot, not only did they not keep them off the free throw line, the Dream exceeded their average on in that area. So, uh, man, the Dream wanted them more. To be honest, they played better, and they deserve to win.
Yeah, I think you laid it out perfectly. They they got to attack and it never stopped in this one. And the bench was huge. We saw Washington's bench step up 2 days ago. Tonight, the production was lacking. It was bad. You mentioned AD Durr for Atlanta in terms of what she brought off the bench. Monique Billings added 9. Letitia Amieri, and I gotta find the correct way to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry, but she played 14 minutes. You're gonna see the 5 points. She brought so much more than that to the table for Atlanta because of her size and versatility. It was another body they could use to throw at Atlanta that wasn't one of their big guns, and she was attacking her on the other end. But their bench was huge in this one. And like you said, I think you said a couple minutes into the game while we were watching playback, uh, they definitely wanted get back, and it was clear from opening tip tonight. It started with Nia Coffee hitting an open three. it pretty much ended with Nia Coffey getting downhill and getting a big bucket. To kind of that was the thing that closed the door. Unfortunately, Lena got hurt on that play, but like you said, it was just a lack of poise for Washington late on both ends of the floor. For a team that has vets that have been around that know better. Again, you were almost calling it out what should happen in terms of Lena's touches down the stretch. And that possession where I think it was a Tosh three, there was like an Atkins three mixed in there. Those two shots were shots like you said they could have got at any time. And what it turned into for Atlanta was both of those shots let Atlanta off the hook because they had him in a tough space with the lane. I think one of the shots she hit, she came off a curl, knocked down the midi. Next time she comes off the curl, stops, puts it on the floor, gets to the line, knocks down another jumper, and then a three. And then a team like that, already getting downhill, what's the last place you want a young team in? Transition. Threes lead the long rebounds, and boom, that's where you at. But yeah, it was tough. Both teams were guilty of playing with their hands more than their feet on the defensive end tonight. But Washington got burned for it just a bit more. They had more folks in foul trouble. We saw Cheyenne Parker have her way 2 nights ago. Foul trouble really kept her out of this one. She fouled out, and they did them clearly after someone goes off for 20. I think it was 23 2 days ago. You're gonna have the same team's attention second go round. But shout out to Nia Coffey. She had 14, which was I think her career high or season high 2 days ago. Ends up with 15 tonight. But again, as Cardell you mentioned, just another talented, versatile wing on this team that can put pressure on the defense. And shout out to Atlanta for getting it done.
And just one other thing, the Dream, they shot 53%, 7 of 13 from three. The Mystics shot 16%, 3 of 18 after shooting 50% in the win on Wednesday. That's a hell of a turnaround. And with that, they only lost by 5. See what I'm saying? So the little things the Dream did better, especially down the stretch, and that's why they were able to pull out this win.
All right, so got to ask you, player of the game.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. I gotta go with Alicia Gray. She hit the big shots down the stretch, and they really couldn't stop her along the way. So gotta give her credit where it's due. It, look, Sykes and Atkins were in foul trouble for a reason, and she was the main reason.
Yeah, I don't think there's any argument there for me at all. She consistently put pressure on them for 4 quarters, and she never let up. You had the big three with the controversial play with Ryan, whether the ball got deflected or whatever. That was Alicia Gray who hit that big three, and it was a huge shot at that time because Washington had got a couple stops and you know big shot, and she did a great job just attacking. Got to the line 5 times, knocked down all 5 of her attempts. We already know what she brings on the defensive end, but big night from her. And obviously, they were going up. They made it a point to try to take the ball out of Ryan's hands as much as possible. So somebody else had to make the most of those opportunities. Alicia did more than enough. Who'd you have for X Factor tonight?
You gotta go with Durham, man. She had 15 points on 4 of 7 shooting, but she had 15 points in 17 minutes off the bench. That's damn near a point a minute. So she had a stretch where she blew the game open, especially in that third. She was cooking, and you know, and just to bring home that point that she had it cooking, she shot a three that she banked in, and she just knew she missed because she started following it immediately and banked in. And I told you, I was like, that's those type of shots where
Yep.
it ain't your night. You know what I'm saying? And it ended up not being a missus night. So yeah, she had it going. She was definitely the X factor because coming in the game, I know they weren't expecting her to have 15 off the bench in 17 minutes. I know they weren't.
Not at all. And like you said, it came during a pivotal stretch. Like again, forcing the ball out of Ryan's hands. You saw Alicia step up, but yeah, Dirt was huge. In the third quarter and in the second quarter, quite a bit. Again, pressure from Atlanta, and we were having that discussion during the game. Their record doesn't it doesn't show the type of talent that is on that roster. Up and down, they have a complete roster. There's a reason many people thought were excited to see this team this year. They haven't played up to what their potential is consistently, but Washington got a little bit of it tonight. They didn't play great, but they earned this win. tonight. They surely earned this win. But want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys, Mystics Outlook, again on Sunday following Washington's game. Y'all have a good evening.